Judson. I'd probably give that an even round, with Judson just working inside and making his mark on the round.
Third round, striped shorts of Dean Phillips from Llanelli. Nice right hand from him there. That really landed with some force. Although Judson's lost his last 3 fights, 2 of those were against Colin McMillan and Daniel Alicia, the man who put Prince Nassim Hamed on the floor. And Dave Parris having to talk to Dean Phillips again about the punches straying low. I think if he has to do it a 3rd time, he'll be thinking about a point deduction. So Phillips has got to watch that. Always a problem for body punchers, Glenn.
Yes, it really is. But Judson also, he has them shorts up very, very high. So it's making it a bit difficult for Phillips.
Judson keeping his gloves pretty high, and some of Phillips's blows are just catching the gloves. I think really all of them in that rally did, except the last punch. So that's another thing that makes the fight a bit harder to score.
And again, Judson, good uppercuts inside. He's worked hard on them punches and they're landing well.
Just a feeling that Judson is growing in confidence a wee bit.
Well, he's much the more experienced, and you would expect him just to plan for the distance fight maybe a little better.
Good combination from Phillips, and all the time those left hooks to the body. That's certainly been his best weapon so far. Punch that Barry McGuigan used to favour, that left hook to the body. And that was another low one from Phillips. He's got to watch it, you know. Good right uppercut from Judson in that exchange. Well, it's the fight we expected, really, with a very, very high work rate. It was never going to be a dull contest, was it?
No, we knew it was going to be a good fight, and certainly it's living up to that. And this is the way both men fight. They're going to stand in front of each other all the time and just throw punches. But I think Phillips has just threw a few more in this round.
Right to the side of the head from Phillips as well. This Phillips is worth maybe the shade more snappier. Ernie Fossey on the far side, and now he's really has been transgressing a bit with these low blows. He's had a couple of warnings, and there's another one.
Yes, they are slipping a little bit low. As I said, the shorts are very high from Judson. You see the waistband right above the protector, and I think he may have a few problems with that, Phillips.
The IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight title on the line tonight. A bit of a mouthful. It's very much a junior title, but it may well be a gateway to bigger things for the winner here. Peter Judson in the gold, Dean Phillips from Wales in the stripes. Only 20 years of age, Phillips. Judson smiling at him. He's the kind of fighter who just relishes the battle. He's one of those guys who absolutely seems to enjoy it in there.
Yes, he really does. I think he's a tremendous trainer as well, so you can guarantee he's prepared well for this fight. Both men, at the moment, both of them are getting their hands up quite well. They both have decent guards. And what's wonderful to see is how many clinches. I don't think I've seen one yet.
Eye-catching left hook from Judson. He's been around a bit, and Judson has this enormous self-belief. If you talk to him about his fights, he'll tell you that he won nearly all of them.
He won all of them. Yes,
Nothing wrong with that, though.
No, of course not. He really believes in his own ability.
Judson just working away steadily. And maybe a little bit less coming from Phillips in this phase of the fight.
Well, Phillips is having to throw an awful lot of punches to try and keep Judson off. I think it's Phillips that's lost the gum shield.
Judson getting his gloves up. Well, again, that seemed to stray on the low side, the shot from Dean Phillips. And he's complaining to referee Dave Parris. He has lost the gum shield. I think he'd like that to be put in, ideally. I'm not sure Dave Parris realises. He certainly does. Correction, he's got it in his hand. But he's waiting for a natural lull, which the referee is entitled to do, and I don't think that's happened yet.
In a fight like this, I think you may have to wait till the interval to find a lull in action.
You might have to wait till the end. Now, after about a minute, Phillips gets his gum shield put back in. Terrific action here. Left hook again from Phillips.
I think Judson's work's becoming a little better. He's landing with nice little uppercuts, and he's just starting to pick through the defences of Phillips.
And Phillips just looking a wee bit more ragged in this round, not so snappy. Maybe Judson's round, I think. Plot thickening nicely here. Dean Phillips just seeming to lose some impetus in that last round, although we have him ahead at the moment by various amounts. Has that ring in his back garden? Did you have a ring in your back garden when you were fighting, Glenn?
I didn't have a back garden.
I like it. Fifth round, and Glenn was a world champion too. Judson in the stripes. Judson in the yellow, sorry. Phillips in the stripes. It's the fifth round, due to go 12. Judson has worked long and hard in his career. He's often just played the opponent for stars in the other corner, but tonight it's his chance to maybe become a star himself. It's good work though from young Phillips.
Because Phillips is having to throw an awful lot of punches to try and keep Judson back. So that's going to sap the energy when we start getting into the late stages of this fight.
Phillips back to his good work from the earlier rounds. But he keeps on hitting Judson with these good shots like that, and Judson really does have a very, very good chin indeed.
Yes, he's only young, Phillips, and you wonder how much that's going to take out of him mentally when he keeps hitting Judson with his best punches and Judson just keeps on walking forward. Is he going to start getting demoralised?
He does have this kind of indestructible quality, Peter Judson. And maybe for a youngster, that might be a wee bit dispiriting. Although Phillips, I must say, has got back to his best work in this round. Good work again from Phillips. He impressed us that night against Colin McMillan. We hadn't really seen him before, and he really did give McMillan a bit of a scare, didn't he?
He did give him a very hard fight as well. For such a young man, we've got to keep saying this. Phillips is only 20 years of age.
Compact, aggressive, tough. Dean Phillips, two good left hooks there. Taking charge again in this round, Phillips. I think the corner had a word with him.
Yes, and that was the first time where Judson had to give a bit of ground. Looked as if he's hurt with the left hook.
Oh, he's getting in with a whole succession here, Glenn. Cluster of punches from Phillips. Very impressive burst, and Judson pokes his tongue out at him. as if to say, well, you might have caught me a few times, but I'm not hurt. And verbals between the two of them, but Phillips, that was the most impressive spell either fighter has had in this contest.
Yes, he had to take some hard punches there, Judson. It was a good round for Phillips. He really unloaded very heavily. And for the first time, you thought he was maybe just starting to get to Judson. There's the good left hook. He gives a little bit of ground. Another one comes back. But he's such a good chin, Judson. He took them very well and even managed to stick his tongue out at one point. Good of a cut from Judson, but Phillips came back with that left hook.
55 punches landed by Phillips in round 5 against 18 by Judson in that round. He threw 123 as well there, Dean Phillips, says our computer. Well, he spars with his sisters, who are quite serious about the boxing. They're both there watching with the whole family. 6th round. Phillips in the stripes, Judson in gold. Dean Phillips, I would humbly suggest, is ahead at this point, Glenn.
Yes, I've got him a couple of points in the lead, but he's having to throw an awful lot of punches to make a mark in this fight. Peter Judson, a very, very tough character. He'll keep coming as long as he can. He's not going to be put off by this.
Good shots from Judson, looking to reassert himself after taking probably 10 to 15 really good shots at the end of the previous round from Phillips. Easy to deride these smaller titles like IBF Intercontinental, but it means a lot to the two fighters.
Very much so, and it may be the only chance they get to get a belt around their waist, and you know, it means a lot. You train so long for something like this, a little snatch of glory.
Real family affair for Phillips, as we've seen, with his dad Des in the corner. Again, some hurtful looking body shots from Dean Phillips. The uppercut looked a good shot too. Again, he looked low with the left hook. Judson workmanlike, but the greater variety and work rate from Phillips, and the body punches may well, you feel, take their toll the longer this goes on.
That's right, but he's having to work so very hard for this, Phillips. You know, he's thrown so many punches. Judson, you know, credit to him, he's taken a lot of these shots on the gloves, but obviously some are still getting through. But he's having to, has to have trained very hard, Phillips,
Another
to keep working
blow.
like this.
Sorry, Glenn, there was another lowish blow there from Phillips.
Yes, he keeps switching them down, and he's going for the body to try and bring the hands down, but he's often going below the belt.
Good straight right from Judson. Both of them trying to meet fire with fire. Terrific scrap. Thought it would be.
Yes, it certainly lived up to what we thought it was going to be. Tremendous scrap.
Well, I wonder what Barry McGuigan is making of things.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a tremendous fight. We all anticipated a really good fight by two sort of guys that hadn't sort of hit the headlines, and these guys are really trying very hard. Pace is fantastic, and I thought Phillips was beginning to show signs of tiredness, but he has come back into it again in that round. I thought his pace is a little bit better. He's sort of breaking between his punches and using a little bit more cunning. Judson is always in there. He soaked up a lot of punishment, but you can be sure he'll be in there fighting right to the end. It's a great fight, and anybody's fight at this stage, although I do have Phillips slightly ahead.
Thanks, Barry. 258 landed so far by Phillips against 167 for Judson. But look how many punches Phillips has thrown. That's purely